as I mentioned before, this man, now you're going to question, what man? What man are you talking about? This man. The guy sitting on the left. I spoke about him, did a video, tariffs back in 2018, tariffs against China, soybean farmers, $28 billion bailout by the taxpayer for subsidies to the farmers to keep them going. Lost the war to China. Business permanently lost to the farmers. And this was a business that took decades for them to build. And a couple tweets and a couple moves, and he wipes it out. Now, that was 2018. That was a bona fide, verifiable thing that happened. Not only the $7.8 trillion in added debt, but the $28 billion bailout to the farmers that surpassed the bailout to the car manufacturers because of the financial collapse of 2008. It just never ends with this guy. So that happened in 2018. He did tariffs, failed. It was a disaster. Caused an inflation boondoggle that the country's still trying to recover from. Now, here's the thing. This is 2024, December the 8th. And what's happening here?
You are now proposing tariffs against the United States' three biggest trading partners. Economists of all stripes say that...
So he threatened tariffs against Canada, Mexico, and China. Canada and Mexico, part of a free trade agreement, FTA, from back in the 1980s. And then his last term, he had to renegotiate it. Messed up the economy doing it, to renegotiate it. Not much different from the original one, but this is something he had to do and change the name so that it's got his fingerprint on it. And then, not only now is he threatening to put tariffs on his two Canada, Mexico, major trading partners to build up a good North American building relationship. He wants to take on BRICS for tariffs also, so that the reserve dollar, the U.S. dollar, remains the reserve currency of the world. But meanwhile, every action he takes since 2016 has given BRICS, B-R-I-C-S, a lead position now. They're in the driver's seat. This guy's done it, just through bad maneuvering on his part. Now listen to what he says about tariffs here. This is the coup de grace. The coup de grace. Piece de resistance. And it sure as heck ain't je ne sais quoi.
Ultimately, consumers pay the price.
Yeah. Just saying, folks.
Can you guarantee American...
Did you hear that? She says, ultimately, it's the consumer that pays the price. And what does he say?
Economists of all stripes say that ultimately consumers pay the price of tariffs.
I don't believe it.
Can you guarantee...
Here he says, I don't believe it. Ever since Snoot Hawley of 1930, guy by the name of Herbert with an H, Hoover with an H, was a fail. Because he was a fail, guy by the name of Franklin Delano Roosevelt ended up doing 3 terms, which the Republicans didn't like, so now we got to cut it down to a president can't have more than 2 terms. Meanwhile, this guy here, sitting across from this fine young lady, is probably going to try to dismantle the Constitution like that good guy in 1930s Europe named after a Spice, Adolf Spice, who didn't understand trade tariffs either. He seems to think we got a trade deficit. It's money owed to our country, like you're extending credit. No. A trade deficit doesn't mean you extended credit to another country. He somehow seems to think this. So this is what his motivation is. So just look at this just one more time. Just one more time. Look at her face. She's perplexed.
Say that ultimately consumers pay the price of tariffs. I don't believe it. Can you guarantee?
He just said, I don't believe it. And you know what I got to say? I don't believe it. You can hear it again for yourselves.
Partners, economists of all stripes say that ultimately consumers pay the price of tariffs. I don't believe it. Can you guarantee?
He just said, I don't believe that. He does not understand consumers pay the price for the tariffs. The guy doesn't understand how tariffs work. He's got no clue how tariffs work. And now with immigration, you've got asylum seekers, and he thinks asylum is from sanatoriums, mental institutions, mental asylums. This is what he really thinks. The guy does not understand. And you really got a question. You're putting this guy to head your country? The guy at Bloomberg had that meeting in Chicago, business leaders, and a lot of them were applauding this guy. He's arguing with the guy from Bloomberg. You know nothing about tariffs. You've been wrong all your life. The joke's on you, kids. You just hired an idiot second time around, and everybody's going to pay for it. Hopefully you figure out soon that this guy really has no clue. He's illiterate, does not know how a tariff works, thinks with immigration, asylum seekers come from mental institutions, mental health asylum seekers. You know, this is what you're dealing with. You got it. You got it. You got it. You know, it's just mind-boggling. The fact that cognitively a country is reigning supreme through a collective consciousness of cognitive dissonance. Like, you say wokeism? Nothing wrong with wokeism. At least they're awake. No pun intended. At least they're awake, folks. Now, Snoopy time. Thanks. Love and peace to everyone. Stay safe. And remember, be kind to yourself. And that's where it starts. Take care, folks. Ciao for now.